Hi, this is Marty from Run Street. We're here for Street Art Profiles, and I'm interviewing Bianca Romero, an amazing artist. And we're here in Brooklyn at the William Vale Hotel, and this is one of her murals behind us. So thank you, Bianca, for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sure. So now we'll get started. Can you tell us a little about your background in art and how you got started in art?
Sure. Well, I grew up in New York City in East Village, so a big part for me was just always being around street art. And then on top of that, both my parents are designers. My dad's a graphic designer. He was actually a really prominent graphic designer in the 80s. He was like one of the first people to really push using Adobe and digital illustration, and got published in a lot of magazines and actually taught the first classes at SVA and Parsons for graphic design. So I've just always kind of had that background, and just like playing around in the studio and stuff like that when I was very little. So I've always done art, more as a hobby growing up, and then a couple of years ago just started taking it professionally.
Great, and you've been really busy, so what are some of the projects you've been working on?
Well, this is one of my latest ones. And then the Brooklyn Beer Garden also has an installation of mine in their Bushwick location in the beer garden over there. Let's see what else.
And then the big mural project with alcohol around the world.
Yeah, so I did that last fall, and that was actually my biggest mural so far. I got hired by the company that runs, that owns Crevassier, Vodka, Hornitos, Maker's Mark, like a bunch of liquors, and basically they asked me to do this huge mural that was 5 or 6 liquors from around the world, and they kind of gave me the creative freedom to come up with my own concept and put together this awesome mural that I did for them last year.
It's so huge. It's really cool too, the idea, so you have different places represented in the mural.
Yeah, so all my art is collage and mixed media, so I always try to bring in an element of with the collage layers, like bringing elements of telling a story or a background of like what the topic of the mural is about. So for example, the mural is a journey from it starts in Japan with Yamazaki whiskeys, and it goes through to Mexico for Hornitos tequila, then to France for Crevassier, so on and so forth, and ends up in New York. So each section of the mural has collage scenes, collage nightlife scenes from each country.
As far as art goes, how is the creation process for you? Like, I love collage art, but I'm not like, an expert or an artist or anything. I just like to do it for fun. But what's the process like of blending the collage and the paint? Or do you have also when you're creating art, do you have a schedule, or how do you create?
I mean, the collaging for me actually takes the longest, because I just take a lot of time in actually finding all the different pieces that come together. Sometimes my pieces, like if I do a specific painting that's about something in particular, I'll try to make the collage like relevant to what the topic is. Like, okay. For example, I did a big project for Food Network. That was a big art installation, and I collaged the entire thing out of food and lifestyle magazines.
Oh, wow.
So I try, whenever I can, I try to really take time to pick all the pieces that go into it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun. If you ever did a collage class, I would take it.
Maybe one day I will.
Because I have no focus, or I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's kind of therapeutic for me, because I'll just I could spend hours literally going through a magazine and just looking at just what jumps out at me, and that's a lot of times how I get started on a piece, is I'll just flip through magazines and kind of just see like, is there a particular like color scheme or like pattern or something that I see that I kind of am drawn to, and then I kind of like build around that.
Yeah, that's what I like about collage. You kind of don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And then also, it looks like identity is a common theme in your art. Is that, or how does that come into play with your art?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I grew up very, like, both my parents are from very extremely different cultures. Like I'm a first generation American, so for me, it's I kind of grew up with very like contrasting cultures, and so me always collaging, it kind of like, not on purpose, but kind of became like a metaphor for that. Like, so when I do a lot of portraits and you know, paintings that have collage in them, yeah, just like the collage kind of becomes the identity of the piece in a way.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like I said before, if I use a magazine that's all, like, let's say I use a lot of music magazines a lot, like Fader and Wax Poetics and Complex and stuff like that. So sometimes if it's a paint, like I did a painting a while ago of Kendrick Lamar and one of Jay Dilla, who's an amazing producer. So I used all, I collaged like their entire track list and discography into their faces, and used all magazines that I found article clippings about them. So just, yeah, like just kind of like incorporating that into the identity of the piece.
It's really cool. And what's one of your favorite pieces that you've done?
Honestly, this is one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, this is really beautiful. We'll have like do some footage of it.
But yeah, I have a couple. It's funny because it changes all the time. Like some of my favorite pieces from a while ago, I didn't love at the time, and then now I love them a lot. Like I have a piece I did of Nina Simone that I did 2 years ago that at the time I didn't really like it that much, but now it's one of my favorites.
And where can people find out more information, or where can they learn about your art or follow along?
Yeah, my Instagram is probably the easiest, and that's Bianca Does NYC.
Okay.
And also my website, which is biancaromero.com.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
I guess that's it.
Okay. I know, so it was pretty